Damien from OKGO, you're at Bonnaroo.
I am at Bonnaroo, and so are you.
Yes, initial impressions.
So far, hot
Yeah.
with one T, like hot, and also hot with three T's.
Being from Chicago, I'm sure you've got a lot of advice how to beat the heat.
Yes, move.
Right.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah, I don't mean move while you're there. I mean move away from there. No, that's a terrible thing to say. I didn't grow up in Chicago. I grew up in D.C. and I lived there in Chicago for about 5 or 6 years, and now I live in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. So I don't feel like I'm entitled to give you the Chicago perspective, but I will give you, what perspective can I give you on heat? Don't be old, because it would.
That's easy enough.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, in general, if you can, I would say just.
Is this a die before you get there type of
No,
thing?
refrain from aging.
All right.
And that seems to me within the realm of possibility for anybody who's really got their S together, you know?
Sure.
And I noticed when I was in Chicago that every time there's a big heat wave, it was always the old people who die. And so while it was uncomfortable for all of us, I think it's probably much more uncomfortable for those who are dead.
Wow.
Yeah.
Or even take that. Hey, since the last time we talked, you guys, you split from EMI. You went AWOL on that one.
We did. I'm feeling really bad about making a comment that will be perceived as ageist now.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, old people, for that. I love you, and I want to get old. Okay, let's talk about EMI. Yes, we did split from EMI. We're headed a very different direction than major labels these days.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
What's been the biggest obstacle so far with being the independent route?
Really none.
Really?
I mean, time. I mean, I spend a lot of hours on the phone doing business stuff. But that's the thing is, we used to spend a lot of hours on the phone doing business stuff, which was trying to convince our label to do things the way we wanted them to. And now we spend that time on the phone actually doing things the way we want to. So it is nice. I mean, there's some anxiety involved with just you take on a lot of overhead. Like if we want to make a video, we have to pay, drop a big chunk of cash to do it. Luckily, our videos tend to be cheaper than most, but
Or sponsored.
Yeah, or sponsored. But getting sponsorships for us right now means I got to call ad agencies and be like, I got a great idea for you, and that's not exactly what you want to do as a rock singer, but. I tell you, it beats calling up your label and saying, I got this great idea, and they go, well, that's awesome, but I have to check with 6 other people in 8 other departments, and blah, blah, blah. And it's not, to be clear, there's nothing particularly wrong with our label. It's just major labels have the business model they're working off of is there's a lot of value in one recording, one set of ones and zeros, and you can sell that, or you can license it, or you can sell it as downloads. But that's where all the value is in that one thing, so you have to protect it and keep people, keep access barred. As a musician, it doesn't matter to us which recordings of our music people are paying for, whether or not they're paying for our T-shirts, our tour, for our our ideas in general, or what. As long as the rent stays paid and we can keep on working on the things we want to, that's the point, right? That's the life, as we get to chase our creative ideas. And so it's just they can be very conflicting business models. Like we want people to buy our records from us, obviously, but we don't want that to get in the way of doing all sorts of other things,
You've kind of been this great advice column for anybody of how to be an independent act and what goes on behind the scenes. I mean, this stuff doesn't get talked about, and you've been very open about it. New York Times and the blogs and everything. I mean, it's been great to just see you put all that out there. Was that important? Or is that just you mouthing off?
Probably more the latter than the former. Unfortunately, I'm not. I don't really know when to shut up, as you may have noticed, having interviewed me a few times. But I guess it's our perspective. Things seem so common sense from any one perspective, and you hear so much about the label perspective, and it's not wrong necessarily, but it's often, I think, even sort of they're villainized more than they need to be. People see fans think, and consumers in general think that labels are out to screw them and try to take their money, and it's just labels are just trying to make money the same way they have forever, and they got a sort of a stranglehold over. They became the bottleneck. That they were the gatekeepers, and that gave them maybe a little more power than they should have, and they probably abused it at times. So yeah, there's lots of bad things about labels, but for the most part, they just want music to keep on making people livings, and I just don't think they have the smartest way forward. So I don't know. That totally did not answer your question. I don't know why I mouthed off about it.
In a way, it did answer my question totally.
Yeah.
Any new videos on the horizon that we're gonna get more from this album?
Great question, because yes, we are premiering a new video here at Bonnaroo tomorrow.
Is that right? Which song?
It's called End Love.
Yes.
And it is going to be on the lunar stage right before the World Cup.
Well.
Yeah.
So we'll get the premiere right here.
Yeah, which also means the U.S. will win the game.
Exactly.
Because that's the sort of power
Thank
our
you for
videos
that.
have.
Really.
Oh, you're
I
welcome.
really
you're
appreciate
welcome.
that.
I'm a big fan of soccer, a big fan of football, and
It's
I
going to
want
be a big summer for you.
Yeah, I want people to yell goal a lot, and so I thought we would use, I mean, obviously we're magical and can sort of do whatever we want, so we would use our video magical powers to win the World Cup for the U.S.
Well, we're going to check out the video. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Great talking to you again.
Nice to talk with you. Thanks
All
for
right,
having us.
cool.